Hello there, welcome to another talk, another meditation, because all my talks are meditations, I always say that. And today's talk is called The Reason You Are Going Through an Energetic Roller Coaster. A very important talk, and just before I'd done this talk I was getting like thoughts, visions, images of, and thoughts of like different timelines. It's like this picture, imagine all those stars are different timelines and different realities, and they're all realities that you're in. But what if what you're going through, your awakening, your spiritual transition, your within path, is needed to heal yourself in the different timelines? What if there's a different version of you that is an alcoholic, in a different timeline that is going through bad relationships, that is, addicted to drugs, and you have to go through all this pain that is making the different versions of you do this, and you've got to heal so that interacts with the other timelines. You see, and I believe that's what the awakening is. I think it's a situation where you have to heal in order for others to heal. But the others, just in your reality, are you in different parallel universes. Because it's one infinity. Everything has to come from nothingness, and nothingness is all of infinity. That's what oneness is. It's the one nothing, as Deepak Chopra says. But in that, there are endless realities of you. It's like in a forest and you see a load of trees. Imagine every one of those trees is a different reality, and they're not even aware of the other trees. Just giving you that example. I'm not saying that's the case, but as an example of parallel universes. You see, or imagine putting your hand on grass and there's all these different blades. And what if that's happening really? That you're always interacting with these different infinite blades of different realities where you're in. And this would explain why you have to go through this awakening in order to inspire the you in the different realities. And that would be why you're going through this energetic roller coaster. Awakening and going within, or doing these kind of positive changes is not easy. Because there's things that get involved, there's triggers that get involved, there's addictions that get involved, there's desires, there's wants, and you're fighting against all this. And the reason you've got to do it is because the other versions of you in the other realities isn't strong enough yet to do it. And so you might have to do it so that air that other you experiences in the different realities gives that version of you the inspiration. And that is what's kind of going on this reality. Imagine the different people that exist are just you in different realities, and that's really what they are. And so you awakening is so important, and even though it's painful, you are the light. They are like in a dark tunnel, but you're like the light. You're like you're holding the torch at the end, and you're like at the end of the tunnel going into heaven and the new earth. But you've got this torch and you're waving the torch, and they can see where you are and they're following you. And so that's why the whole chosen one thing is a real thing. And the chosen ones, it is a real thing. It's not just a made up thing, it's a real thing. And the chosen ones have that about them where they have what it takes to literally change themselves and to transition themselves into a higher state of consciousness. You see, and I believe this is needed, not just for yourself, but for the different realities that you're interacting with. You see? I mean, we don't know how us shining in a certain way is affecting others. It is affecting the reality and the surroundings. You know, it all interacts with each other. And so you've got to do your part. And when I started doing this talk, like I say, I started a meditation. And when I do some of these meditations that I do, I don't try and actually meditate. It's like a download. And then, so I think a talk would be a good idea. But you might be going through an energetic roller coaster. You might be trying to break away from addictions, toxic people, toxic things, toxic behaviours, and you're thinking, this is so hard, you know, and it's meant to be hard because you're meant to overcome it, and then you're meant to show others how to do the same thing. You know, it's a bit like a fairy tale, really. It is really the old awakening thing, the twin flames thing. I mean, it's like a fairy tale because the twin flames idea is that they get together at the end, and that's like a fairy tale. And that would only happen if it was kind of like a dream, you know. Sounds like that song by Art Garfunkel, you know, Is It a Kind of Dream, you know that song? And that's kind of like what it is, because if people get together at the end, then that is like a dream, fairy tale, simulation. But by you going through this inner pathway, this healing, this cleansing, you're helping everyone involved in that dream. And even though we're all one, we're oneness, but you know, and everyone else is the mirrors of the one thing. It's all basically like imagine there's you and you're just looking into a mirror. But because the mirror's infinite, it sees itself as like infinite separation. That's why it's apparent infinite separation. And it's so vast because infinity is vast, it's limitless, it's endless. But back to the topic in hand, you know, the reason you're going through an energetic roller coaster is because, like I say, you have to go through this. You have to be strong enough to heal the different infinite versions of yourself that need your help. Yes, it's a dream, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. You see? Just because it's a simulation doesn't mean it's not a real reality. Of course it's a real reality. But because it's infinite, that means it's vast, and that means it is limitless. And that's why it appears that way. But, you know, as I've been saying in this talk, you know, so that is the reason why you're going through this energetic, this pathway, this awakening, this ascension, is because you've got to be the example to everyone else. You're the one that's strong enough, the chosen ones, the ones that have had these unexpected spiritual awakenings. That's who the chosen ones are. Everyone calls themselves chosen nowadays. Must be one of the most overused things now, but The chosen ones are those people that have had unexpected spiritual awakenings. It really started happening in 2012, because that's when the old planet died, and then that's when I had my awakening. And I get new spiritual awakenings all the time now. And I do believe that the realities are infinite, and you're helping other dreams where you are living in by going through your awakening, because the other versions of you are going to receive inspiration from you in this reality. See, even though it's oneness, it's like oneness, but it's looking into a mirror. And because the mirror is infinite and limitless, as I've said on this talk, it thinks it's separate. But awakening is when you realise that it's not separate. It seems that because it's vast and infinite, and that's how it would appear if it's vast, if it's infinite, because infinity would be limitless than vastness. But it'd just be the one. It would just be one. You see, observing itself within that infinite vastness. And in that infinite vastness, you're going through this change because you've got to be the light, like I've said, at the end of the tunnel. You've got to be the light in the dark for those people that aren't strong enough yet. They may never be strong enough. You know, to be strong is a choice, and you know, many don't have that. It's not everyone that's got this. Everyone's got it within them. But the people that have had these unexpected spiritual awakenings, they've got a fight in them that is very special. And this is very important because, like I say, all the infinite versions of you in the infinite timelines, they need your inspiration. And that's the whole point of why chosen ones exist, and the whole concept of 144,000 is because these people have special hearts. You know, they're manifesting their own unexpected spiritual awakenings, and they're going within, they're facing their issues. And that's the hardest thing you can ever do. And that's why these people are a different breed. And the whole point of them existing is for them to show everyone else how to do the same thing. Because it's about a mass global awakening eventually. And so that's why you're going through this energetic roller coaster. Sometimes in my pathway of this, certainly in the past, it's been very confusing. You see, and made many mistakes, as you may have done, whoever watching this may have done. But you got over it and you got through it. And then after a little while, you know you're onto something special. You see? And so carry on doing the inner work. Don't let anybody dim your light. If they are, cut them out and get rid of them. Because they're not going where you're going. You are going to the promised land. And the promised land is the land that is for those that are awakening now. The heaven place is a real place. And I believe it's for those that are ascending now. Those that are doing what their heart tells them. They are the chosen people. From Christ, from Source, God, whatever you want to call it. And if there was a Christ, Christ would have handpicked certain people that were capable of doing not the same thing, but were capable of going on that inner journey. You see? And these people were going to be a big benefit to the one infinite creator, which we are all a part of and connected to. But I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates, talks, news, research, and much more, please do visit my website at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.